Hello, Transformer fans, and welcome to the 100 subscriber upgrade video. And what we will be doing today is the SND Primo X Mortis upgrade kit for the Battle Core Optimus Prime. And it's the usual box, you know, just the schematic and drawings on the back and pretty much nothing else. And if you happen to notice, I have my board out because I don't want to get any damage done. And yes, you will notice that he is in disarray already. And that is because this is my second time going at this. Unfortunately, there was a major issue in my first recording, which was a very in-depth unboxing and building. I had run into a serious issue with the pin going into the new waist piece here for this SND kit. The holes were not big enough for the pin, and that is, well, you know, honestly, some of you who put together the Primo Vitalis will actually know this, is that it was kind of difficult to get that pin back in with that kit, and it seems that these holes were even smaller. You know, mold degradation or whatever. They're pretty much the exact. I mean, the back piece here is probably the exact same mold for this kit as it was for that kit. So these holes did have some flash mold in there, but because of mold degradation, the holes were probably even smaller than what they were on the Primo Vitalis kit, which for my kit, the pin literally had just gone in with some difficulty. So I wish I could have actually uploaded the original video with me actually going over all this and making the hole bigger and everything, but there was a second issue where I was actually transferring it from my memory card to my computer, and the entire length of video, it cut off, like it divided the video with the majority of it on one portion, and like the last like 26 minutes it was like the second portion. And I did try uploading it the way it was, but for some reason it wouldn't upload it. So unfortunately, yeah, I have to redo this video. But I will say that if you do make any sort of model and you have those little pin vise drill bits, you will either want to use that to make the hole bigger. As you can see like the plastic right around the outside of the pin on either side right here. I mean, I literally had to go at it. I did not have a drill bit big enough for my little model pin vise to make that hole bigger. I had to actually use star bits. The star bits from my little screwdriver kit. I had to start off with the T4, then go up to the T5, and unfortunately my kit does not include a T6, but luckily enough, with a little bit of extra twisting from side to side with the T7, the hole actually became big enough for the pin to go through. And like I am saying, I wish I could have actually uploaded the video with that. But as you can see, I do have the new waist piece on. And like I had previously pointed out, pin is actually in. It might be a little too far out, but you know, it's in there. It's both through pieces of plastic. The only way for me to really, you know, make it even is to use a pair of pliers, and it's fine just the way it is. But I mean, there was a lot of plastic that came out from this just to make this hole bigger. I think that pretty much took up about 20 to 30 minutes just because of the different things I was trying to do to enlarge the holes. I didn't have my X-Acto knife on me at the time when I tried recording the first time, so I had to use my box cutter, and we all know the size of the box cutter blade. So I could only get into the one side, hence the star bits, which actually did a lot better of a job. But a drill bit would have done better, because then, you know, no stress marks in the plastic. So that's what I would actually recommend, is drill bits. Find a drill bit that is just a fraction smaller than the drill bit, and I literally mean just a fraction smaller. Measure the width of the pin, and then literally just go maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 1/100th smaller, whatever. But, you know, it's like, I have a car, and I'm used to millimeters, so, and yes, you know, it's like, I'm here in the States, born and bred, but all the, most of the vehicles I've owned have you know, like, Mitsubishi engines, so, you know, the bolts and nuts are millimeter grade. So there's, you know, a few standard size that, actually, most standard size don't actually fit them. I mean, unless you can find the exact equivalent. But, back to the point. So, I can't actually show you how to put this in anymore because of everything I had to do in order to get this in. As long as you are watching the video and you're hearing me explain how to make those holes bigger, you should be fine. I did end up watching a couple of videos before trying to make mine originally, and I only watched one of them long enough to see that they broke the back piece. And it could be for the exact same reason. They tried putting the pin through a smole that was like half the size of the pin, which that will automatically break everything. And that's honest. So, I guess we will start off with what I can show you, which is the thigh extenders and putting the hips back on. Oh, and sorry, I bumped the camera right there. Actually, you know what? No. Okay, so no, let's go over the parts first. Okay, so obviously the new crotch plate and lower ab section, which does have some pretty nice molding on there, and they kind of make it look like it's feather. You know, that even kind of resembles, I guess, what you would kind of see on like a bird. Like, you know, it's not human abs, you know. So that's that, and these are done in black plastic, and you got some nice gold paint on the white plastic for that. And, you know, nothing in the back. You do get some brand new hip ratchets with the kit. And you do get the thigh extenders for both left and right. Which, let's see here. Yeah, they are, should it be exactly the same as the Primo Vitalis kit, except done in black plastic with the exact same molded in details right there. These shoulder pads are the exact same, except done in white plastic with some gold paint right up here for, you know, the truck lights or horns or whatever. I guess it can go either way depending on possible year of truck and model. You get 2 new feet. These definitely are different. I'm going to hit similar shapes. Possible remold. Other than that, I mean, they're exactly the same except for this right here and how this piece is flat in the front. Done in white plastic. And then you have the silver paint on the front of the toe, and you even get some red paint in the back. And because of that, I'm guessing these are possibly taillights for alt mode. And you get a ankle tilt. And the toes don't really move up or down, except for, you know, this is supposed to be the transformation hinge right back here. And then the heel does move. And there we go. It is the new chest piece done in black and white plastic with some silver paint and some pretty good looking detailing right there. And here's the new head. Some nice looking horns. Mouth plate done in black plastic. A crest has some gloss back black paint on it, and you have some blue metallic eyes. That's actually quite a nice blue on there. And this is going to be the same piece that was on the Primo Vitalis, except done in white plastic right there. And you get 2 new leg slash shin and knee ankle pieces right here. Completely redone. Some nice detailing right there. Some lines right there done in the molding with some black paint right here. Black paint there. black paint on the piping, and then black paint here. And the only thing that I have to say this kind of looks like is the Hot Wheels Stormtrooper car. Doesn't that look like the Stormtrooper Hot Wheels car right there? I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is pretty cool. I mean, that right there alone looks pretty much exactly like the Stormtrooper Hot Wheels car for the visor. I mean, look at that. I'm sorry. I had to do that. I really had to do that. And then you get some more transformation bits, which this piece covers up the wheels in a robot mode. The same exact as Primo Vitalis, which I don't know. I mean, it's possible they could have actually changed some stuff, or should have changed some stuff, I should say, between the kits, other than the obvious. But you have that. Right here you have the combiner head, which is pretty nice. And you have, you know, the crest or crown, whatever you choose to call it, done in the nice gold paint right here, and that done in the same black paint. And the mouth plate, sorry about that, has black paint here, same nice blue eyes right here, and black paint on the sides with the new horns, which they do not come out all the way. They stay at this angle. That is the furthest I've tried getting it out, and I do not want them to break. So that is that for the headpiece. Oh yeah, right here. You get 2 Gatling guns. Just done in black plastic. And what you'd pretty much expect from Gatling guns right there. And you also get his sword done in a translucent, light to medium color, yellow clear plastic. With the handle right there. And with the handle, the sword is actually possibly 7 inches. And it is actually quite nicely detailed. We have that. And then we have his scythe or scythe, as I've heard people pronounce it in my area, and it does have a couple of spots where you can hear that it kind of like notches into place. So there's 1, 2 right up at the top, and 3, which is the fully closed position right here. Done in the same clear plastic. And the blade itself is actually just a hair bit longer than the sword. And from the picture on the box is that the scythe and the sword are supposed to combine. But I actually have to figure this out, because both of these have endpoints and there doesn't really seem to be a way for them to connect. So that's one thing I still have to look up in the instructions about, which there will be another video. I will have to go through this and figure out all the different transformations, in which, seeing as this piece is all by itself, I'm actually going to look through there right now, because that is kind of confusing, because it's not like anything is actually attached to that at all. So I really don't know. And I honestly did not even use the instructions to put to try and put this together, which you would have actually seen in my original video. I had only looked at the instructions a couple of times, only because I remembered from the Primo Vitalis on how this was taken apart and put back together again. Okay, but the only thing is that this is actually supposed to go, obviously, over the smokestacks, and this is supposed to go into the original crotch plate for combine mode. But the only thing is that his crotch plate either popped off and is someplace downstairs, which I have no idea where it is, or I popped it off, because I can tell you this, this will never go into combine mode. So, and to be honest, if you just keep him in, or if you're going to keep him in the mode that he was meant for, you actually won't need this piece unless you just want to cover up the smokestacks even more. That way there's, you know, less of it to be seen. Which I'll do it without it to start, and then we'll see as it goes on. Only because I have had this together myself just the once before during the video. The original video, which obviously you can tell I keep bringing up because I wish it had actually worked out and it would have uploaded and it wouldn't have split in half and yada 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 and all that funky stuff. Okay. So I'm rambling on. I'm just trying to, you know, put in description everything I went through. So I know sometimes I could probably ramble on without actually doing anything, and you know, but I mean it is what it is. So okay, so if figure out, get these die extenders on. Okay, that is the right leg. That is the for the left. Okay. Alright. So this is for the right hand right here. And well, you know, if I'm doing all this off screen. Sorry, I got the camera angled so I can't actually see the view screen. So I'll try not to have this out of frame too much, which I am sorry about that. But as I was going to say, if you are a new subscriber, I do tend to talk a bit while the video is recording without doing some work only because I like to get my point across. And I like to do a description of what I went through, just so that way you guys will know what you will possibly end up going through. Because if I have to spend like 20 or 30 minutes fixing a factory flaw, which obviously kind of destroyed my original video, because I was doing the whole unboxing and review and I didn't want to have a single problem with doing that, and I got jinxed. I got jinxed big time. So yeah, I mean, kind of PO'd about that. I mean, there wasn't really much I could do with what happened with that, but it was probably the extra what happened as I was trying to put it together, and I can't find this other ratchet piece. Taking care of those holes and whatnot did actually... Okay, and I just happened to find this piece on the ground, and to be honest, it actually looks like the post that was supposed to come out of one of these legs. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, broken right off. You know, like it was squeezed with a pair of pliers. I mean, look at that. I did not do this. That was squeezed with like a pair of pliers or something. So, I mean, I did get this off of eBay, and it did come in without packaging. So, because by the time I got my Battlecore Optimus, yeah, I mean, it was already like at least a good year after he was released, and I couldn't find him anywhere. And I got him specifically so I could get the upgrade on here, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you can see that. That was crushed with a pair of pliers. Dang. And somebody put it back in there. Somebody put it back in the leg, and then I undo the leg, and I'm not... Now I'm just seeing this right here. What the heck? I mean, if I had known that, there's no way in heck I would have ended up paying full price for the thing. Because obviously, you know... Oh, jeez. Of course, you know, I mean, that probably happens quite a bit, where, you know, people aren't completely honest about the product that they're selling. I mean, a lot of people are, you know, like the people where, you know, it's their business to actually sell the stuff, because they actually have a real store where, you know, they're selling this stuff full time. And then there's the people who just happen to come across the stuff, you know, I mean, adults, you know, like older than I am, or older than what you are, and... But obviously, in this case, this person must have had some sort of, like, upgrade kit or something. And, I mean, you could tell that they're plier marks. I mean... It doesn't actually really affect anything too much, but I mean, still, I mean, freaking A. I mean, that could possibly go to explain why I have like a soft hip ratcheting sound on the one side and a nice tight sound on the other side, which is all due to the part because I had done a video on this previously, and it tabs into the upper thigh, just like Primo Vitalis does. So that side's all done. That piece. Okay. Let me get that one in. And yes, you'll notice I take care of like the hips and leg extenders before I put the feet in, because I find it just easier to have all that stuff in place before I mess with taking the legs themselves apart, or the lower leg apart. And yes, you do hear that, right? This one sounds like a softer ratchet than this one, and that might be because the broken post is in this leg, which I didn't even know that was even broken until I just saw that piece on the floor. So, yep. Nice, huh? Okay. Alright, so let's put the 2 new feet in. Shall we? Oh, and on a completely different note while I am doing this. Okay, so Optibotimus had a live stream today, earlier today, on the December 6th. After 3 p.m. Well, 3 p.m. local time to me. I don't know what his local time would have been, but I went in. I watched what was going on, and towards the end of his live stream, he ended up making this voice, and so I ended up writing in there. It was only like maybe the 3rd thing I wrote in. But I typed in, is he making a Cartman voice? Okay, so, I mean, then, like, right before he was, like, signing off, he was like, yes, I just made a Cartman voice. A very bad one, though. He didn't happen to mention the name of the person who put the comment in, but I was like, wait a minute. Did somebody else actually put that in there too? So I was scrolling up, and no, apparently I was the only one. So I don't know if you can go back through it and look through the live stream comments or questions or anything on that, but yeah, that was pretty cool. The only cooler thing would have been if he actually mentioned my name in that. So, yep. Okay, so we got the foot in. One thing about the foot is that it is a tiny bit smaller than the pig on here. That stress mark was already there when I originally took this guy apart, and I have no idea how it got there. So just to say that, but the feet, it might be a bit of flash molding on the inside of the peg there, or it might have been, sorry, not the peg, but in the peg hole for the new foot. because it did take a little bit to get on there, and once on, you could actually see some of the white plastic on the peg itself. But when you actually look in the hole, it didn't actually look like there was any flash molding inside the hole. So, which I know can happen. It happens all the time. And yeah. Here's the leg. I don't know if this was on both sides, but I mean, yeah, I mean, literally. I mean, or this could be from something else, because I didn't break anything else off on that. And that looks actually like a bigger peg. So I honestly have no idea where this pegging even came from now. Because that definitely, oop, and I dropped it, looks like a bigger peg than what this leg is. Oh, you know what? Maybe something didn't break off of that. I have no idea where the peg came from. I didn't break a peg off of anything. As far as I can remember. Alright, well, anyway. Oh, well, I mean, it's the same color plastic as the legs. So, I mean, if it wasn't from this guy, who the heck was it from? Interesting. Okay, so I guess I should take back my previous comments. Oh well, stuff happens. I'm sorry about offending any eBay sellers on there. But I mean, it did seem like it was quite possible until I actually saw the size of the peg compared to the one inside the leg there. Okay, so 1 foot attached. Let's go for the second one. I kind of wish maybe they had actually provided some second set of screws that were actually a little bit longer for this knee, so that way, it had a little bit more grip on it. Because honestly, once this guy is together, you'll see that he's a little bit back heavy. I was actually able to get him to stand straight myself without any real issues until, like you happen to get him to like a certain pose or whatnot. Okay, so that leg's on. See, I mean, yeah, see, doesn't that look like that's broken? See, look, this one looks like it's broken, but I don't get it. See, that's where I came up with the thing that post had to have been broken off from that, just because of that. Because, I mean, you should probably end up tightening these knees down a little bit extra, just so that way they're a little bit tighter. Oh, geez. There we go. Okay, so it wasn't together all the way. Which is funny, because from my angle, it was popped together all the way. Oh well. But a longer screw would have had a better grip inside this knee area here. Why isn't that going inside the hole? Oh, there's already screw in there. Okay. Would have gripped on the knee better, and it would have made it a little bit more stable. So, alright, feet taken care of. Alright, so, once everything is together and I can actually have a little time to figure out the alt modes, I will do another video on this. And yes, I already have these pieces popped out, which because of the Primo Vitalis, I just forgot to put these back in for this video. I just had them lay in there because they had already been popped out from the original video, and I wanted to get this video made for you guys. So take the piece with the Stormtrooper Hot Wheels visor facing up, and they will just pop in right where the original pieces came out from, right there. And this has a tendency not to sit even, and sometimes it's like that, and just make sure it's all the way over. And same thing with the one for the left leg. See? Just popped it on, and you could see that it's not all the way over. So just push it over the rest of the way. And you see, we're tightening up. And I already did tighten these up. Ooh. What the heck? Did I put in the wrong screw there? Because that looked like it was further in than it should have been, and I didn't over tighten it that much. Let's try this screw. I might have to buy a bigger screw for this knee. Yeah, see, I tightened that screw down right where it needed to stop, and I mean, it's going through the freaking screw hole right there. I mean, it's tight. This one's looser, not loose, but looser. And you can see that one is not going into the freaking hole like that one is. Alright, so both feet are on. And okay, the head popped loose a little bit. Apparently that wasn't screwed down all the way. But I still wish, they had come up with some new hands. What the heck? Some new hands for their upgrade kits, because, I mean, come on. I mean, yeah. I still don't want to see this right here. Alright. So, chair was falling over right there. Okay, so I guess we'll just take the old combiner head off. Yeah, just get rid of that. Don't need that. Okay, come on. Come on. Ugh. Okay, there we go. And let's see if I can actually get this on. This ball joint is a little tight at first. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in all the way. And because of that, hopefully it doesn't cause any stress on the ball joint. Oh, come on. Ugh, okay, there we go. Which it was a lot tighter than that initially for the original video. Yeah, you might hear me say that multiple times during this video right here. Okay. And you didn't hear me say that, yeah, there's obviously some leftover sticker residue because the original production stills that were on there kind of looked like they were, had the green coloring instead of mostly the black, so I went and got the Nova Prime Repro labels for this guy, and when I found out he was black, I went and I took all the green off, and I left the extra white stickers on here. So I only left the plain white stickers on. Not that you're gonna even see them or anything, but you know, they're there. So, all right, and let's get these pieces on. And these will go in just like they do on the Primo Vitalis kit right here. So you know, easy peasy. Come on. And that's even without the wings on there. Oh, come on. What the heck? This went in and out just fine before. Yeah, see, there we go. Apparently it just had to line up right. Which I didn't need to do that before. Okay, so, alright. So, we are gonna do the wings first. And then, we'll do the other pieces after that. And this has a hook tab, if you can see that. So you have to put it up over this piece first. And I'm putting this on before I put the front piece on, because it actually tends to hold this back piece on a little bit better. And if you notice, I am not using the other piece, this piece right here. I'm not going to use this piece right now. Only if, yeah, it is a little loose, but I mean, oh well. And it does show a little bit of the, smokestack still, but oh well. Okay, and then you just slide up over the top and you tab these three sections in, just like you would have with Primo Vitalis. Okay. And of course, there we go. Okay, so alright, a little bit of a lift right there. Okay. So we got that. Alright, so that's in. And we bring this forward to go over the two tabs that are up on the top to help keep that in place. Alright, we got that right there. We got the wings. And use those ankle tilts. Of course, one of my ankle tilts, sorry, doesn't seem to, like staying in the position where I keep it. It keeps going back to the original factory position, which I don't really like. And, yeah, I'm sorry if, whatever it was that I had just said, which sounded like, a body part, it wasn't on purpose. I do have a speech impediment, so sometimes, words come out different than what I'm hearing myself say. Which hasn't changed since childhood, so just in case anybody was offended or anything, you might possibly hear that if you happen to be a newer subscriber to my channel. So, apologies in advance. Alright, so, I mean, yes, you can see a little bit of the smokestacks right up here. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, because the only thing is that I don't know. Let's try it. I'm gonna. Well, let's try this. I'm gonna take that off, and I mean, I'm just taking a guess that maybe this piece is supposed to be put on before that. So I'm gonna open up this right here. Oh. Ah, okay, never mind. It might be for this. Oh, okay, never mind. So I probably don't even need that piece. But, yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. I'm just looking at Primo Vitalis there. Okay, so, yeah, probably don't even need that piece right there. At least not for the way he is right now. Definitely don't need it for robot mode, and I will definitely double check for the video that I will do for the alt mode transformations. To check to see if I will need it for that. Without a doubt. Oop, hold on. Okay. See? I mean, he stands up just fine. I mean, he's standing up straight. Right like that. I mean, yes, his head's a little bit tilted back, but I mean, that's just his head. And like I said, I mean, it's like his ankle tilts have to break in a little bit, but, you know, I mean, that's about it. I mean, he's standing straight up. Alright, and then, you know, the same thing with Primo Vitalis. You just take the piece and you tilt it forward. Figure out which piece is for what here. So this should be the left side right here. So you just put it up over the front of what would be the cap section right here, that silver plastic right there, and then push it down and it'll pop it in. Fold that down, and sometimes I can get this to go in straight, but most of the time it's still going to be on an angle, which, you know, that's cool with me. And same thing with the other arm right here. So let me get that going and pop that on and push that down, fold that down, and then move that over. Move that over. Which that one, I got Oh, okay, yeah, there's a slider on there. I forget, there's a slider on there. So apparently just didn't have the slider over far enough. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Standing straight up. No issue standing straight up. Okay, so what I do know is that these wings right here. Okay, so I didn't show off the wings, but I mean, it has some nice molded detailing. Has lots of detail gold paint, and this is on the box. It shows this paint is kind of like a greenish color, but it's actually a metallic blue, which doesn't do it justice on the camera here. But the feathers and everything are open up that far, that one that far, and that one that far, and this goes down like that, and like that, and like that. Yeah, that don't look creepy at all, does it? Not even in the slightest does that look kind of creepy, like a broken ghoulish hand. Okay, and from before, I know that these pieces open up, so if you happen to have these angled as so, you can open them up so that way they match the angle, so that way you don't see them from behind if you so choose. And you even have some different molded in and gold detailing paint on the back side. And this untabs and you can put the wings forward, which this might be a transformation joint right here, and it is on a ball joint, and you can rotate it that way and rotate it this way. Well, and you know, obviously a ball joint, it can go up and down. And then front to back here, and it has a ratchet right here as well. And these joints are ratcheted as well, if I didn't happen to mention that, but those are ratcheted too. And it's the same on the other side as well. Oh, let's get that over. And yeah, I mean, this kit is freaking cool. I will go over the combiner head. I'm not going to add any limbs or anything, but I will go over that transformation with just the torso, because obviously combiner wars, you can put up whatever limbs you want onto it. But as soon as I figure out all the alt mode figurations, I will have that in the other video, as I would normally do. And we still got these Gatling guns here that need to go in to help complete this. So these go right up in the top here. And I will definitely figure out where that other piece goes in. I mean, I can always look at Primo Vitalis, which he will be coming up soon enough for his. And so happy that they actually popped in those new hip ratchets, because yeah, just yeah, because kind of weak on the Primo Vitalis. I know I've probably said it before, I still haven't gotten any new ratchets, hip ratchets for him. I mean, heck, I'll probably upgrade him with these, because these are probably better than the ones that come in him. Because Battlecore Optimus Prime, he had better hip ratchets right from factory, at least the version I got, than what the regular Optimus had. So I might put those in there, and it might help tighten them up a little bit. But I'll probably go for new hip ratchets. Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, okay, so the handles on his weapons are actually a bit tight, just a bit bigger than the peg hole in his hand, and I do mean a bit. So I mean, standard 5mm peg. The peg itself is probably between a 5.1 and a 5.2.5 because of the extra friction that's there. And we put this one in. I mean, you can see how I'm turning this and how far this actually goes into the hand. I mean, that much turning, and it's probably only maybe gone like an 1/8 of an inch, if that, into either hand. But I mean, that looks freaking awesome. That is so freaking awesome right there. I mean, if I was to base this on looks alone, that would be a 10. That would be a 10. And in the original video, you would have ended me hearing me say that I would have dropped a lot of F-bombs trying to get this thing to where it needed to go together. Not on this one. But yeah, I was dropping a ton of stuff in my head for the original video, trying to build this and make the holes bigger in certain spots, and, you know, yada 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 yada. But just hoping I don't have to try to make the holes bigger in his hands, just so that way they could, there's less friction, so that way if I wanted them to go in there farther, I can put them in there farther. But I mean, it's just a little too tight the way that they are. Okay, and here is Mr. Primo Vitalis himself in the metal. And there we go. And I know it might not look it, but they are actually the same size and both equally good looking. They are some good looking bots right there. These kits definitely do them justice. And in case you're wondering if Beelzeboss or Beelzeboss or whatever they pronounce themselves as, excuse me, if they still end up coming out with a kit, if it's still made the exact same way that the other one was for the IDW style Prime, I am not going to get it, because that kit had issues. Those little ball joints for the cab sections, I mean, I moved them like twice and the ball joints just like popped right off. You know, kind of ruined the whole figure. That, and, you know, the hips and, you know, crotch section, I mean, stuff kept coming undone. So, I mean, it might have been, you know, the type of plastic. Obviously, there might have been some tolerance issues and yada, yada, yada. But, you know, I am not going to go for that unless he looks better than this guy does right here. Then I might spring for the kit, and I'll let you know right then and there otherwise. But the only reason why he's getting a 10 and not like a 10.5 out of a 10 is obviously, once again, because there's no hand upgrades. Just my personal opinion. Should have had hand upgrade again with his Stormtrooper Hot Wheels leg and thigh covers. Whoa. Okay. And for the next video with the Ultimate Transformations, I will have this piece put back in. Like I said, I just didn't want to have it there, because I didn't want it to be ruined. Alrighty then. I hope, because I had to redo this video, I hope my 100 subscriber upgrade video was not a complete letdown. I still tried to go through with descriptions as much as possible, and I hope it wasn't too much talking for you. So until the next time, whether it is the second video for him or unless it's the G1 fix experiment that I am doing for Snarl. Until next time, thanks for watching.